Hello, my name is Thomas Sicker, and I am a student athlete at Harvey High School. Over the years, athletics have been a very important part of my life. Through participation in football, wrestling, and cross country, I have learned about the meaning of sportsmanship and where hard work will get you in life. One thing I have always come to value is competition. I believe it is a very necessary and positive part of society. Now imagine working hard and engaging in competition, being so passionate about something that it becomes a part of your character, only to find out that someone you're competing against is breaking the rules and cheating to win. The devastating fact is that this happens regularly in the Olympics. There's athletes who work hard year-round only to be beat by athletes who use illegal substances and aren't caught due to poor testing standards.
Because athletics are so important to me and I care so much about ethics and good sportsmanship, I'm proposing that the International Olympic Committee move around its budget to prioritize mandatory testing for all athletes. With help from the World Anti-Doping Agency, my proposition would call for athletes to take two required drug tests around competition time. One of these tests would be administered before competition, while another would be administered after competition. In addition to this, one random test throughout the year would be a requirement for competition. These tests would include testing for multiple different substances such as anabolic steroids, hormones, and stimulants. This plan would aim toward significantly reducing the amount of illegal substances at play in the Olympic Games.
According to the Washington Post article "Stronger, Faster, Longer, and Higher" by Bonnie Berkowitz and Tim Miko, drug testing first appeared in the Olympics in 1968 when a Swedish athlete was caught with a positive test for excessive alcohol. It wasn't until 8 years later, in 1976, that reliable testing was introduced to the world. These tests would allow for a wider range of substances and help catch more cheaters. Since the first case over 50 years ago, there have been more than 5,500 cases reported, though this number could be higher, as some countries choose not to release doping information. Historically, though, maybe due to the high testing rate, Russia holds the title for the most causative cases, followed by the United States of America. According to Brandon Spector, author of the article "Why Is It So Easy to Cheat in the Olympics?", modern-day drug testing is very flawed. He states that this is due to the fact that while athletes can be tested at any time, they usually aren't tested until around the point of competition time. This is because the testing is so expensive to be conducted. This lack of testing year-round allows athletes to use illegal substances right up until the point of competition time. This, in turn, helps to avoid disqualifications while reaping the possible benefits given off by these drugs. Spector also states that testing is limited as the World Anti-Doping Agency can't necessarily test for drugs which they've never seen before. As mentioned by Berkowitz and Miko, some of the broad categories of substances used in the Olympics are muscle-building steroids, which are the most common type. These substances, which include anabolic steroids, are used to cut fat and gain muscle. Pick-me-up stimulants, on the other hand, are used to increase alertness, improve reaction time, and boost blood flow to the muscles. This includes amphetamines and other related substances. Some athletes choose to take hormones. These drugs are very tough to detect and help increase production of red blood cells. Another category of drug use in the Olympics are drugs that hide drugs. These substances, which include water pills, help in controlling weight for sports like wrestling, and overall help to throw off drug testing, essentially hiding other performance-enhancing drugs athletes might be taking. Next, common beta blockers help to lower blood pressure and bring down heart rate, making it easier to concentrate. Finally, asthma drugs are substances which open up airways that in turn allow muscle building and increase burning fat. These are used for athletes like swimmers and track athletes.
When it comes to the topic of drug use in the Olympics, there are many reasons in which change is necessary and positive. For starters, sportsmanship. The Olympic Games is a chance for select athletes to compete and represent their country. Drug use clouds this, as it ruins the idea of fair competition. In addition to this, it poses unfair advantages to those cheating athletes. These actions are dishonorable and don't belong in sports. As noted by Philomena Mazzio, these drugs pose risky health dangers. He states that these performance-enhancing drugs carry with them a variety of long-term effects such as cardiovascular disease and liver cancer. In conclusion, the use of drugs in the Olympics are very widespread, and today's drug testing is very flawed. Doping allows for many different unfair advantages depending on the substance at use. These drugs cause many severe health issues and should not be allowed in the Olympic Games. Because of this, I propose that all Olympic athletes should be required to take at least 2 drug tests around competition time, one being administered before and one being administered after competition. In addition to this, one additional test will be administered at random throughout the year. This, in hope, will limit the amount of drug use in the Olympics, therefore increasing sportsmanship and allowing for the elimination of health hazards and unfair advantages. Thank you for listening, and I hope that the next time you're watching the Olympics, you take into consideration my proposition.